Hey, Paul.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I just suddenly saw myself very large on a screen. It
Yes, it's
was
true.
it
I
was
clicked the
quite
wrong button.
disturbing.
Yes, I clicked the wrong button, brought you in first. Um, so, well, first of all, hey, who are you?
I am exactly what it says right here, and that
Hmm.
says Paul Tchaikovsky. And I'm a what am I? I'm a managed OpenShift black belt at Red Hat. Who are you?
Hi, my name is JJ Esgar, and I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. And we are on the,
Congratulations.
I know, right? We're on the IBM Developer Twitch channel right now, and eventually all of this will be up on YouTube too. What do we do, Paul? What do we do?
We usually mess around with some interesting cloud native and or Kubernetes related things, try to make things run on Kubernetes that probably shouldn't, or play with new tools in the ecosystem, learn about some stuff. And we often fail miserably, which is quite fun. Yeah. How's that
Yeah.
work? Is that a good description of what we do?
That is exactly what we do. And no joke, this is an opportunity for both of us to learn something, and we hopefully you enjoy the journey with us as we do. And the chat is open on Twitch, so if you have any questions or thoughts, you'll see me throw some stuff in here, um, like just that right there. That I encourage you to use it because this is an opportunity for us to all learn. Is that hippie enough for you, Paul? Is that hippie enough? That work?
Sure.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop our names from the screen, and what we are going to do is, do you want to drive, Paul, or do you want me to drive?
I can drive.
Okay.
Let me hit some buttons.
And
Share screen.
if you're a long time watcher, or this is not your first time, you might notice that I'm coming in at high def and I'm not stuttering because I might have actually fixed my internet access. So
Huzzah! He did it.
exactly. It only required a tech and two techs and 48 hours of debugging. So that was fun. All right, here we go.
All right. Oh, there's some text in there we don't need. Right. So, JJ, remind me of what we were doing.
Yes. So the short of it is we found a piece of software called Send, which was a fork from a Mozilla project that, in essence, allowed you to send anonymous um, files with disposable URLs. So it was
Was
really
it the,
neat.
was it the Tim
That one.
Busy one? Yeah.
Yep. Tim, he forked it and kept it alive. And it turns out it works out pretty well as just a container, and does some neat stuff. And there's even a CLI attached to it. If you ever need to send anonymized files, it sends it up to S3 or whatever. So our first time around, we got it working on Kubernetes,
Right.
and attached an S3 bucket to it. So we had the Kubernetes cluster in IBM Cloud and attached an S3 bucket from AWS, which by definition, multi-cloud, which is kind of cool. But we quickly discovered that there was no Helm chart for it. So there's no really easy way to just get this running on Kubernetes, um, or OpenShift for that matter. So we started playing with this, but we discovered some issues along the way. Do you remember what those were, Paul?
Oh, I don't know. It was like forever ago. So
Okay.
I know
Well,
here's some things that I do remember.
mhm,
I do remember that there are kind of three components. There's the app itself,
mhm,
there's the storage for where the files exist, and then there is a Redis database, right?
yes.
And so the three things need to exist, and the latter two things need to persist. Otherwise, it loses track of what's where.
Correct.
So
And we just,
unfortunately, the Redis isn't just a cache; it is a authoritative database. So
yes.
we do need it to persist. I think we had hoped or assumed that it might be just a cache, and we might be able to get away with just
Mhm.
the storage. So that's the three components. So we're running it in Kubernetes. We're writing a Helm chart. I believe we got to as far as having a Redis dependency. We got send running, but we didn't quite get to the storage. Well, we got local storage working. So I think the first thing we probably want to do is work on getting persistent storage working so that you can just use the local in-cluster storage in a persistent way. And then we'll look at how we can extend that to switch to use S3 or other.
Yep.
How does that sound?
That sounds like a great plan. That sounds like
cool. So let's pop open, first of all, our, that is not what I wanted to click on. So I have VS Code hooked up to our SSH instance. So I'm popping the code through SSH. That was because I just patched the PVCs. So here is our Helm chart. We haven't even written anything in the help in the README yet. But right now, all of this is kind of the defaults. All we have done is we've added the Redis components.
Yep.
And if Redis isn't the dependency, right? So the dependency is in the chart.yaml here, right?
Yep.
And we have this
decided, we decided on the Bitnomni one.
Yep. And we have when Redis enabled, we'll pull this dependency. And that way we can say Redis enabled here, and then we can set a password and a host. Right? Because if that's right, there's no username in Redis, right? Just a password.
Correct. You can connect via just just like telnet on 6879 or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the reason we have host there is the theory is you might want to bring an external Redis database if you wanted to run it in like does RDS support Redis? Like whatever, like cloud provider or whatever, probably have a Redis, or you want to use Redis Enterprise or whatever. You may not want to use the Redis dependency, in which case you would fill these out, but you would set this to be false. The enabled is basically making the dependency decision, right?
Yeah.
But we want it enabled because we're going to be using it. That's our chart. So let's first of all make sure that we're in the right directory. Yes. So when was the last time you ran Helm install? Here we go. So we should be able to just rerun that, but we will need to create ns. We'll just do send helm install -n send, and then dot because we're installing it from the local path. And so that happens really quick. And we're just using a service right now. We're not using a ingress. So that's the other thing is we'll want to sort out the ingress at some point. And that way we can co-opt the SSL, etc. of the cluster. But for now, we can just do first of all, let's switch to the send namespace. We can have a look what's going on here. So we have send itself. We have Redis. And then we have a
PVC coming up.
We have the service. We got some PVCs coming up which don't show up under all, so we can just add PVC there. And they're both set at pending, and that's a block gold, so that should work.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't know if you all remember, but with the file-based storage, which is the default, it doesn't support setting an FS group, which means the right user never gets access to write to the disks. So with the block-based, we can do that. And so that'll just take a hot minute.
I will say, while in the background, I did some research, and Redis, there is a Redis service on IBM Cloud. So if we ever do want to test the remote access, we can actually just point it to that to see if that'll work.
So one thing we should think about is that we want to be able to use persistent volumes. And if we're going to use persistent volumes, we may want this to be a stateful set instead of a deployment, right?
Oh, good point. Very good point.
And the other thing to think about is if we're going to have persistent storage on local disk, we can't have replicas of more than one. Otherwise,
One more time.
if we're using the persistent storage on Kubernetes, we can't have more than one replica for send.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Otherwise, only one of the replicas will have the correct thing in its
that's
path.
right. That's
so
right.
what we might do, so we remember that up here, a note, if using PVC for storage, do not change this value above 1. Now we can actually put in a check for this at some point, right? But for now, we're just going to put in a note so that we will hopefully remember.
Throw a nice little comment being like, "You dumb bastard, you don't change this."
Right. Let's see how we're looking here.
I do hate past JJ. Past JJ put some really mean comments in some of his stuff.
Like I hate present JJ, let alone past JJ.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Future JJ is so bad. He hasn't done anything to piss me off yet, but
exactly.
The rest of y'all are.
There's problems there. There are problems. Anyway, all right, we're bound. We're good.
All right, so we've got we're at container creating for the pods. So let's just switch to get pods.
It smells better.
Yeah. So we'll just check one of them. Unbound, and then scheduled. So I would say it's just downloading the images, etc. right now.
Yeah.
So we do get pods. Okay, so now they're running. They'll switch to actually working soon. So now I want to do a kget pod send. I'm just going to do a kget pod. What I want to look for here is the environment variables.
Right there.
Right, and so the Redis host is send-redis-master. So first thing I want to do is kget service and Redis master. So because they're in the same namespace, we can just use the A record like this. And so this should be fine. Now, what's interesting is what happens with send coming up before Redis. So if we do klogs send 64. Interesting. All right. So here you can see it's trying to connect to Redis and it's failing. So I'm hoping that it's going to keep retrying as Redis comes up. So you can see we now have one Redis up, we have a replica up, and now it's spinning up a second replica.
So a quick aside question.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to have to iterate through the configuration of send here to make sure that we point to the correct one. Is it possible for us to edit the Helm chart so it doesn't destroy or like comment out so it doesn't destroy the Redis instance for us? We can just have it working there so we can like work on just send.
Yeah, so let me think about this. If we are able to just do Helm updates, then it shouldn't destroy Redis. If we have to actually delete and reinstall the Helm chart, then it will delete and reinstall Redis.
Could we remove the dependency from the chart and just have it sit there? Like
we could
just comment it out?
If we end up in this thing where we're having to create it and delete it and wait for the PVCs all the time, it'll probably make sense for us to do exactly that.
Okay.
And it'll be easy-ish for us to do that because we have the Redis variables divorced from the settings, I think.
Just asking the questions, right? I want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to sit here and watch PVCs getting created and destroyed.
So speaking of which, I did check our environment variables, right? Yeah, Redis password, Redis host, port, detect base URL. Okay, so get pods. So this all looks like it is fully up and running. Logs.
So Paul, Ball just said, I asked him how he was doing, and they said just need cross-account role access secrets manager as one does. Do we call bingo?
I don't even know bingo? What those words mean.
Yeah, I think we say bingo when that happens.
Now, I think we have our first issue.
Okay. It's not restarting?
It's not restarting.
Can we just kill the pod and have it just recreate the deployment for us?
We can, but what I'm interested in is what isn't working. Like, if it isn't responding to HTTP, if we have a liveness check in there, that should take care of that for us.
Good call.
Right? So if we do a just do a exec -ti send no shell. Okay, wget. Good enough. Wget -o localhost 8080. Okay.
Yes. Oh no, wasn't it like? Oh no, I thought it was 1443.
Right. So I'm thinking this means. So if we look at
env
server config.
Yeah. This is all coming back to me slowly but surely here.
Yes. What are we looking for? Port. There's a one port there. Okay. Less server. That's what we're just looking at. Where is it setting?
Oh, that's great. So according to Ball, they're messing with that exact same thing for Redis.
Server bin prod. So less server bin prod. Config listen port. Why didn't that?
Let me double check. Hang on.
It is in config. How was I missing it? Env port. Okay. So let's just run that wget one more time because it is using port, and then we'll check env grep port. That is 8080. But now we'll do delete pod send 6 pods.
Things are happening.
It's taking a while to delete the pod for some reason. There we go. Logs send 64. So now we just have no logs at all. Let's shell o dash localhost 8080. The localhost 8080. Hell.
So we
Now I
are
can.
lost.
So for some reason I just couldn't do localhost.
Is it not inside the Etsy host or something like that? Maybe localhost means nothing. I guess you tried 2027.0.0.1.
Oh, that does work. So I don't know.
That's weird.
All right, so that's something we'll need to think about is how we resolve this. So next time we do this, if we have to kill the Redis, we'll check into what this looks like. So now we have this up. We can kget service. We can find this IP here. Open up this. We can run this, and we have access to send.
Yay!
So that's looking good, and we'll just one more time check our logs. Yeah, so I guess no news is good news when it comes to send logging. It's a bit weird, but whatever. All right. So now what are we going to do? Now we want to figure out storage.
Yes, we want to figure out a good way to get a dedicated local storage attached to I guess another PVC that we attach to this as that we can turn on and off if we so desire. Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit and go to Bitnami charts. Maybe not Redis, because that might be a bit more complicated than we want. But something here should give us a fairly straightforward way to do persistent volumes. Persistence. Yeah, this looks like what we want.
Okay.
So we'll steal this from values file for our values file. And I'm going to poop out.
Ball asked a question here. Do we like the Bitnami's charts? He's only familiar with the AMIs.
Yeah, but the Bitnami charts are, generally speaking, the first ones I'll go and check on. Because
they've been around the longest too, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know who's been around the longest, but they were really the first of the, we're going to provide supported enterprise-grade charts for a ton of apps. And they have really good variable breakdowns in their values files and work really hard on compatibility across different distros and how they handle storage classes, etc.
Yep.
So, and that's why I'm like, we'll just come and steal this, and we'll do /data. I don't know where it really needs to go. And again, these we'll kind of get rid of any of these we don't need.
In a lot of ways, Paul is my version of GitHub Copilot. That's very true.
this is worth keeping.
So in a lot of ways, we're gluing together a couple charts to be able to get an amalgamation to be able to do all the work for us, because that's in essence what we don't need to write most of this from scratch, because we're just gluing pieces together of a product that or projects we already know, which is great.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
yeah, exactly. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just stealing the pattern for handling persistent storage from an existing Bitnami, because it's quite complicated when you get to being able to define different storage classes, etc.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of my go-to way to handle it. It's just steal it from someone who's already done it.
Yep.
So that's the start of it. And now we need to find where they use those values. And so that will be in here, and then there'll be a stateful set. And so that's the other thing is we can do here, we can make sure that we can switch to using a stateful set, which will give us...
We will definitely need to destroy the Helm installation and reinstall it now, right?
Maybe. I might have some workarounds. I might know what I can do there. I might have some tricks up my sleeves there.
Someone's being a little ambitious over here.
You know. Now, do you remember if there's any other major differences between deployments and stateful sets? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, and I don't think any by default. I think they both have the exact same stanzas.
Yeah.
The ones that might be different are optional, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. In fact, I've even seen putting a conditional around the kind of deployment or stateful set based on what kind of storage they have. So if you don't need persistent storage, it'll use kind deployment. If you do, it'll use kind stateful set. But like, I don't like. I'm fine. Even if it doesn't need to be a stateful set, it's not that big a deal for it to be a stateful set. So I tend to just err on the side of, if it's got any kind of data I care about that may need persistence, I'll just go straight for a stateful set. So that's the stateful set side of things. And now we need to look for, there'll be two stanzas where it is using persistence. So let's look for persistence enable.
There we go, 84.
So here's the first thing. Here is some init containers. And this is, you know how I said they're really good at compatibility?
Yeah.
So basically this is, if we were using the file-based storage where it can't change the FS group, we'd be able to use this stanza to run an init container to do a chmod on the thing, but we don't need that. So we can kind of skip.
Before we found our PVC fix, that's actually how we fixed it.
Exactly.
That was exactly how we fixed it.
So we can skip down to here, and we only need one of these because it has two mounts for Cassandra. And so we do this. Interesting.
That is under...
Oh, I see what's going on here. That's
the init container, isn't it? The volume mount.
Is that still the init container? Good catch.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Good catch. I mean,
out of all the times you're like, JJ, are you paying attention? And I'm actually paying attention.
Right?
And you're like, wait a second. It's actually helpful. I'm not just making dumb statements in the background.
Right. All right. In that case, there's a couple of, it says init certs. We don't need to care about that. Here we go, containers Cassandra. So now we're going to look for volume mounts. Which is quite a ways down. Here we go. Volume mounts here. So we paste this in to here somewhere.
Under the container, right?
Yeah. So we'll pop it under resources, data, and mount path. And so let's save that. And then there will be a volumes. And we'll just need to grab this right here. Down to here. There. Right. Now we'll paste this into, we can go down at the very end. And we want to do here. But if we are not doing persistence, we're going to create an empty dir volume. If we are, then we create the data volume. Access mode, size. And so that this will use a volume claim template.
Got it.
Right. And I think that's going to solve this for us. Access modes, persistence, size. And those all match up to persistence enabled storage class. Yep. So this might be what we need. So
Wonderful.
If it's not enabled, we just do an empty dir. If it is enabled, so the only thing left we need to do is where we're setting the mount path, which is under volume mounts, we're mounting it to here. We need to set an environment variable to mount it to here. So what we need to do is pop back to here. Now, so let's server config. What we're looking for is the setting to set the path for the data.
Okay, I thought that was in the. We double check
File,
the
file dir. Right there. Oh, and here you go. That's interesting. By default, it creates a temporary directory.
Oh, nice.
And we definitely don't want that in any way, shape, or form.
And we want it /data is where we're putting them out, right?
Well, that's a variable, so it's taken care of by loading from this variable here.
Got it.
And the other thing I think we want to do is, I think I saw where you set production development test.
Right there. Node environment.
We want to set node env to production.
By default, yep.
Auto production. Let's go with production.
And we get even less logs.
Right. Now we can go and set up more things like max file size and stuff like that, but we're not going to do that for now.
Yeah, we need this working first.
And we have detect base URL. With that all done, we can do this. Get out of here. Okay, get deployments. Okay, delete deployment, send. And then if we do a helm install, change this to a helm upgrade.
Update. Those update.
I think both work.
Ooh, 99.
Unexpected EOF. I think we forgot to close out this if statement here. Oh, what's this?
That's a lot.
Yeah, so this is actually calling a common library, which we don't have. So let's look at what that looks like in the chart.
Volume claim.
So that'll be in helpers. Oh, here include common images. How are these working?
Abstractions, you want abstractions, the problem abstractions.
Is there a... Oh, I bet you there is a chart for YAML. There is a dependency on a Bitnami common. So this is what's called a library chart, which can provide extra functionality that you can apply across multiple clusters, across multiple charts. So let's find, so that's Bitnami common. So let's jump into here, jump into templates. And then what were we looking for? Common storage.
Yeah. Oh, it's not too bad.
Right.
It actually doesn't do a lot, does it? It outputs.
So we could.
We can remove it. We don't need that. Or just put that whole thing in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
8 to 21.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to figure out. So really, actually, this is, I think, all we need. But we need to put it in.
We don't declare storage class anywhere, do we?
No, so we do need to. We need to declare it.
Yeah.
So that'll be under spec. It'll be values dot existence dot storage class. Yeah, see, here it's setting it to this and then changing it if global exists.
Got it.
So if we use that combined with the storage class name, I think will be good. Let's save that and try again. Missing required. Aha.
Service name.
Yeah. So this is maybe the one difference is the stateful set needs to know the set name of the service because it does a bit more coordination than a deployment does for uptime.
Got it.
So if we pop back to this and go back to the here and look for service name. Yeah.
Under spec.
That's what we need under the first spec. So that'll go here, but we can pop that out because that is not that. And that will take care of that.
Don't we need to add something for that commons name, full name?
Oh, snap. Good catch. So we actually just want this.
Yeah.
Done. Look at you.
It's because I can actually see the screen now because it's not all choppy.
Right. Now if we do a kget pods, we see send sitting in pending because it is trying to get a PVC.
Rock on, man. Nice.
So
Yes.
if we do watch kubectl get PVC, we should see this pop up shortly. So this all will give us persistent storage.
Mm-hmm.
And persistent storage then means that this is almost something you could run pretty reliably in a home lab because you probably have a way to do persistent storage in a home lab. Yep. So we have Redis, we have persistent storage. We would probably want to drop this down to just be a single Redis in a thing. Full Snable. So the double curly braces is Go templating. So Helm uses Go templating, and that's how you tell Helm to inject values or run functions, etc.
Go templating is a lot of fun. I strongly suggest looking through a tutorial about it. Then all of a sudden you start realizing where you can use templating to do some pretty neat stuff. I've templatized out bash scripts before, which was kind of funny, but it works. Like I just changed the variables and it just dumped out the bash script for me.
As a weird question here, don't bash scripts already support variables?
I was trying to find an excuse to learn some Go templating, and that was the best way. The best way to get it.
All right, whatever works. So we have our PVC up.
Wonderful.
Now let's look at our pods. So that's a container creating. So let's do -o YAML less.
Fuel Snable, exactly, just like that. You can start if you do a bunch of templating to generate some base code to work off of. Spinning up a Go template to do that for you is actually a really great opportunity to learn the power of Go templating.
I don't write code anymore. I let Copilot do it for me.
There you go. I just copy and paste from a templatized repo, and I remove Git, the Git directory, and just create a new one, and then just change some variables, and then say that I've done the project.
All right, so send looks to be up and running. Again, super useful logging. Thanks for nothing. But we should be able to pop to here, refresh this because the thing didn't change. And then we should be able to grab something inoffensive.
And then
there we go. Everyone wants a photo of Paul in a red hat.
Nice.
So expire, protect with a password, Paul, P-A-U-L, right? So we will hit save.
Now you're going to delete the send. No, I guess if you delete it, it'll try to recreate the PVC again, won't it?
So bear with us. I don't know why this is paused here.
It's taking a second to write it, maybe?
It's suggesting that something might not be working quite right because it's a tiny little file. Here we go. No such file or directory /data blah. So what do we need to do here?
Break into the container, see if you can write to that directory.
Get pods kexec-ti send 0 shell ls data. So touch data fart. There we go. We need to figure out the FS grouping to make that work. So, right, who am I? I am user app, and that would be what's my user ID 1001.
1001.
So we need to pop over to here. And JJ, do you remember where we set FS group? Is it in pod security context?
No.
Kubernetes persistent volume FS group. Let's see what pops up in the Googles. Here we go. FS group. So it goes under the container spec, security context. So let's pop into code again and do this. Is it 10,001?
1001.
You're 1001. Right, but let's have a quick look at what's in values here. Yeah, so let's do this. Oh, this. It's already up here. So we can just set our default to 1001 like that. And then we can come back to here where we were fucking around here. Get rid of that. And we can rerun helm upgrade. Pods. So it's going to terminate it and spin it back up, hopefully with the correct FS group. Watch. You know what? I would pay good money for someone that wants to contribute code to open source to contribute the ability to use aliases with the watch command.
It's a very reasonable thing to ask. It is surprising that no one's figured out how to get that done.
I wonder if there'd be some sort of potential security vulnerability or something that stop people from doing it.
No, it can't be.
I don't know.
Put a little bug bounty on it.
Right?
You'll make a brisket and ship it to them. How about that? There you go. Yeah.
I should make a brisket. It's been too long.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about doing one this weekend myself. Yeah. Now that I've finally learned how to smoke properly my big green egg, everything's working so much better.
Okay, so the new one is up and running. So now let's do it again. Touch data font, rm data font. So if we can write to it, the app should be able to write to it.
Correct.
If we come back to here and try again, too far. Wait, was it not?
You just dragged it in. You didn't actually show your open screen.
Ah, there it is. All right, Paul in a red hat. Protect with a password of PAUL. Upload. It is ready to share. So let me put this into. Can I paste into chat? Oh God, that is not what I wanted to do. I don't think I can paste to chat without actually logging in. You can though, right, JJ?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Put that somewhere. Tell people to try and download the file.
Well, you only put it down for one download, so whoever grabs it first.
Whoever grabs it first wins a prize.
Go ahead and I think if you click on the picture, you should see, or the not the picture, but the name. You should see some stats about it, right? No?
Nope.
No.
Uh-oh. Oh, if someone hasn't already done it. Oh, it's expired. Did someone get it?
Yeah, I got it. I went and
All
took
right.
it. So that means that works. So now if you want to, do you want to
So that means it
upload?
works.
Yes.
So I'm going to do another one. Do the same thing. Do the same file. 50 downloads. No password. And hit upload. So here's a new link, which also, if someone wanted to, they could try and scan that thingy. So there's the new link. So JJ, if you want to confirm that you can access it.
I'm trying. There we go.
All right. So here is where we're really going to test things. So kget pods. Oop, get out of here. Kget pods. Delete pod. Send 0. So the first thing we're going to verify is that with the pod deleted and recreated, it still works, because that will tell us that the persistent volume functioned as advertised.
Yep. It's almost if it was persistent.
Almost.
Maybe. Unless it's trying to delete it right now.
No. When you do a delete of a stateful set, I think it will only show as successful once the new one's up.
Got it.
Maybe. I don't remember how this works. Anyway, kget pods. Oh, it just took a while to turn off, but we've got the new one spinning up. So again, we can watch this.
Okay. What's up?
That is up. So now we want to verify that link still works. So let's pop open a new thing here. Run that.
That looks great.
All right.
Yay. Huzzah.
And it really is Paul in a red hat.
Yay.
So that has survived that.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go for broke. Let's do this. Delete stateful set. Send 0. Oop, send. Get SS. Oh, just 2 S's. No. Oh, stateful set. Delete stateful set. Delete both of these. these are all terminating. So we'll rerun the watch. Waiting until we have 0 results.
Okay.
Right. So now if we refresh this, we will fail. So it's just sitting there spinning. So now if we do a helm upgrade, because we didn't delete the PVCs, they should still exist and they should reconnect.
But we deleted Redis, so we won't know where.
But the Redis PVCs existed.
Oh.
So Redis
Got it.
and Send should reconnect to their persistent disks.
Yep. I'm with you now.
If we did it right. Okay, get pods.
That was pretty quick for
Right.
Redis compared to the last time, so that's a good sign.
So we can probably do it. Klogs that send Redis. Yeah, so it saw the disk there and basically was like, okay, cool.
Nice.
And then if we do send 0, nothing there. So it's probably working. So if we come to here, boom,
Not
it's
bad.
there.
Nice.
I can download it. It's come down as 1 in brackets because it already existed in my downloads.
Nice.
So there is our persistence working.
Sweet. That's really good. So this is now, like you said, you could throw this on like K3S on your home or whatever with
Right.
persistent storage and you'd be good to go.
Exactly.
Nice.
Now, what we should think about next is if we want to do S3 or other, right?
Yes.
So what that would look like is if we come down to here. So first of all, persistence enabled, and then type file. Okay. Report file only at this stage, but you'll add S3.
Nice.
And then we do this file, and we pop all of this up one, right? So now we need to come back to here, and where we do persistence dot file. Damn it. Dot. So that means anything existing persistence is now persistence.file.
Got it.
But that means we'll need to come back down to here and just pop that.
Yeah, you don't want to have the flag
And
for enabled.
values dot persistence type equals
File.
And then I think we need to do this and do that. Is that right? Is that how?
That looks right.
That's how Go works.
I believe
So if persistence is not enabled, wait, I think that was to be an or, right? If persistence isn't enabled, or persistence type is not file. We just want this to be an empty dir. Hey, what's up, friends? KCDC, Pratik, and Billy.
Yeah. That Billy and Pratik and Mary all used to be on the IBM Developer Twitch. So they're some great friends of us, friends of the show, if you will. And KCDC, I believe, is the Kansas City Developers Conference, which is great to see that they're doing good over there.
Yeah. Hey, if you're at a developers conference and you're watching our Twitch stream, that means you're at a very good developers conference.
Shh.
So what are we doing now? I guess we should validate that this change I just made works.
Yes. And then I think we can call it for this week. And
so
we can
these all search and replaced as I wanted them to. We have this here. Now what this means is if and when we enable S3 support, they'll still end up with an empty dir to /data, but like who cares?
Yeah, it's only in that container, only in that space. Yeah,
exactly. And it's an empty dir. Now we could, if we want to, we can go back and put some more conditionals around those, but for now I think that's fine. So we can do one more Helm update. Here we go.
Ooh.
Unexpected.
Right there on 79. Not equal.
Is this not valid?
I mean, maybe it's two equals.
No. Oh, you know what it is? Is it that? Or do we have to spell out not equal?
I think it's just not. I think you're correct. It's just not. NOT.
No, it's not. It's not because not's a Boolean, right? I think if you're doing equal, I think you do this.
Of course, we don't see any examples in this.
Yeah, all the rest are kind of just Boolean checks, but
nope. Oh no, you wrote that one.
We'll just check it live. So
YOLO.
I think this is valid. No. Equal. No, wrong number of. All right.
Let me hang on. We do
go template not equal conditional.
Oh, if not logged in, here we go. This is what we want. Where are you? Did you find the Stack Overflow? Yeah, the top Stack Overflow. That's the one I found. It's that one.
No, but this is a Boolean. We're not looking for Boolean. We're looking for a value comparison. Equal. Really? Any? Radio. I was close.
Yeah, you were. You were very close. There we go.
So that didn't not complain. Hey, get pods. Now we changed a bunch of variables, but we didn't change the result of the template. So that's why nothing actually changed.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I feel like the one thing we should check now is what happens if we set this.
Take out the persistent volume.
Oh. No, let's check our ingress. Now, do you remember how the IBM Cloud Ingress works to get the right
I
host name and stuff?
I have to look it up every single time. Every single time. And I don't always look. By that time, I just end up getting, what is it, Cert Manager installed. And don't even bother with it anymore.
Right. All right. IBM Cloud IKS. Is it IKS? No.
Yeah.
It is IKS.
We're not playing on OpenShift yet.
Ingress. Setting up Ingress. Right. So we run this command. What's the cluster name?
Cube, kube.asgardlabs.io.
Right. So that's the subdomain. So we will set this to be send dot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also want to grab this here. Send dot. This. And then we need the secret name, which is this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get secret -n default. Right?
Yep.
So we need to grab this and then get it into our namespace. Right?
Yes. I thought it was opaque. It's not.
It was what?
I thought you could use the main secret across all the namespaces. But that's fine.
No.
No worries. No. Okay. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Well, let's just do a get secret. If that's the case, we should see it. Yes, we don't see a secret in this namespace.
Yep. Got it.
Namespace. Send. Okay, apply. Okay. Okay, get secret. We now have that secret.
Perfect.
So that now exists. So we can now do a helm upgrade. Uh-oh.
That's right.
No, we missed
What'd you
that.
miss? Yep. Do we want to turn on that Acme flag too or no?
Required field paths. So we actually need to do something here.
It's just put like a slash on there.
Is that all we have to do?
I thought so.
Is it right? Yeah, no, it's actually I think it's a list of objects. Let me think. What's the easiest way? Ingress here. Where are we looking for? Paths. Is it paths?
Take out the square brackets. Yeah. You get the square bracket.
All right. I think what we need is this. Oh yeah, it's gonna tell us. Really. I think that's what it's looking for.
There we go.
Oh, and it is telling us to update this. So let's go ahead and update that. It's fine because we need to figure out the next version up. So it's trying to be smart about what version of Kubernetes is running versus to work out what version of Ingress to use. And so we actually need to add a third one. But whatever. It's working. So this should now be valid. Service. Ingress.
That's smelling good.
Wrong button. So now we'll open up this guy. Overwrite this. Boom.
Huzzah!
Update, upload. We were just going to drag and drop. All in a red hat. 20 downloads, upload. And then now we have a vanity link, which is that. So I wonder if we can do this. Can we grab, and notice it's TLS?
It is. That
now,
is.
I'm going to try something a little bit out there. And then, uh-oh.
What happened? Did you drop something? I think he took out his mic. No?
No, I had to do an emergency sneeze.
Ah.
And so I muted myself so I didn't blow your eardrums out.
Hey, Lost Algorithm. Good to see you.
I'm going to grab this.
Saying hi.
Didn't quite get it. I need download in the middle there. So this is the old file at the old URL. I'm just curious to see if it works. No. Well, it was a valiant attempt.
Yes.
So I think we're good.
Yeah. Like we've walked through building a oh, here, this is a good question.
No, you're artificially slow.
Yeah. Can you bring up the link and try to download from it? See if it's slow for you too. Mine was pretty quick.
I mean it. And download. Nah, man, it's instant.
Pretty much, yeah. Someone should get off their LTE or 4G Wi-Fi or phone and try to do with a wired connection. So, well, yeah,
this is good, and this is perfect timing because the air conditioning people just arrived to fix my air conditioning.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, this is we've successfully got it working up to persistent inside of Kubernetes. Now, now next week we can look at getting the S3 portion working, and then this might be enough to ship.
Actually, I think we're pretty close to shipping.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
cool bananas.
Yeah.
Hey, what will be cool is if when we set up S3, if we can test using multiple replicas and see if it still works. Yeah. And that'll be a good sign that we're in a good place.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
alrighty.
Cool. Hopefully everyone learned something, and we'll be back next week. Say bye, Paul.
Bye, Paul.